Hello, River Forest, Cicero, and Riverside Township. Welcome to our webinar on registering and pre-filing your property tax appeals. I'm Tammy Wendt, and I'm the newly elected commissioner to the Board of Review and very proud to serve as your commissioner. I am so happy that I am your representative and able to help your community in ensuring that all property taxes are fair and equitable. Tonight, we're looking forward to providing you with information on registering and pre-filing your property tax appeals. We scheduled this seminar with the hopes that we would have solid dates and deadlines to convey to you, but unfortunately, because of COVID, dates are fluid right now. However, we do know that pre-filing is open July 6th. So this is a very important date. Mark your calendars. July 6th is when pre-filing opens. That's really important. We are also going to give you this information again in the chat. This is a great opportunity, pre-filing, to file your appeal on July 6th or later, regardless of when your township officially opens. This is great news because this ensures you will not miss your 30-day window to appeal because you've already pre-filed. So as soon as we know the dates and deadlines for your townships, we will post them to our website and to social media. If you are registered, you will also be notified proactively. Registration is a great tool because you will be notified on a regular basis of dates and deadlines, and also when your appeal results are ready to view on the website. So tonight, we're fortunate to be joined by local, county, and state elected officials from both political parties. It is rare to find an issue in today's political climate that can bring both parties together. But tonight, we can all agree that we need to keep residents' property taxes under control. How much we pay in property taxes affects us all, regardless of political affiliation. While these taxes fund key county programs, assessments that are not fair and equitable can be disastrous for a homeowner's finances. So tonight, it's refreshing to see both sides in agreement and working together for the homeowners. Speaking of which, we are joined tonight by Township Assessors Emo Kundari of Cicero, Assessor Pamela Kendi of River Forest, Deputy Assessor Kathy Elliott of River Forest, Assessor Fran Sikowitz of Riverside. Also here tonight are Cook County Commissioners Peter Silvestri, Commissioner Frank Aguilar, and Commissioner Sean Morrison. We're also happy to see State Representative LaShawn Ford here tonight. Now, these elected officials also love Cook County and the state of Illinois. I would like to personally thank them for taking time out of their schedules to help promote this seminar and partner with me to ensure that your property taxes are assessed fairly. And to our commissioners on here tonight, a special thank you, as I know all three of you have been present at many of my seminars in the past few weeks to represent your constituents. So quickly, the reason I ran for this office is because while practicing law over the past 21 years, my experience in real estate and property taxes left me with the desire to help improve the property tax system. Like many of you, I see the effects that high property taxes can have on property owners, many of whom are fleeing the county for lower taxes. As a lifelong resident of Cook County, I want this to end. I love this community, from its diversity and restaurants to its history and neighborhoods. Cook County is one of the best places to live and work in the United States. And like all of you, I want it to stay that way. So that's why I continue to raise my family here today. When you appeal your property taxes, you're ensuring that your valuation is fair. This helps create strong communities and helps us grow for the future. My staff and myself look forward to working with all of you. So the agenda for tonight will be a short PowerPoint presentation detailing how to register with the Board of Review, which means how to open an account, basically, and how to file an appeal on your own, and what forms and information you will need when doing so. This will be followed by a question and answer session to address as many questions as we can from you. Okay, so as I said, tonight is registering and creating your Board of Review account to file your property tax appeals. What is the Cook County Board of Review? We are a separate agency from the Cook County Assessor's Office. The assessor, he determines your assessed value, which is ultimately used to determine your tax bill. If you appeal to us, the Board of Review, we can reduce the assessed value if we find it's warranted. An appeal must be filed to the Board of Review in order to determine whether your property may have been overassessed. Residential property owners do not need to hire a lawyer to file an appeal. Only commercial property owners need to do that. Why should you register with the Board of Review? Registration allows you to be notified when we open and close our filing periods. When your township opens up, you will get notified via email and when the closed deadlines are. Property owners can register through the online appeals portal located on the website that we're going to talk about, and that's our website, cookcountyboardofreview.com. But if you have trouble with that, or you don't have access to a computer, or you're not comfortable with computers, you can also register by calling the Board of Review at 312-603-5542. So pre-filing your appeal. As I stated, the pre-file period is opening July 6th this year. The pre-file period allows all filers to submit their appeal before each township officially opens. This period ends once your township opens. The Board of Review will open townships for appeals after the assessor releases their final numbers for each township. Once the schedule is finalized, it'll be available on the Board of Review website in about midsummer. So this is what our website looks like when you go to cookcountyboardofreview.com. You are going to see submit appeal. So where the red arrow is pointing to, that is what you need to click on in order to register and create an account. And then that brings you to the next page. And then you come to this page, which is the portal. You click here to log into your account, or you can register. So if you already have one, you already know what's going on. You just, log in with your password. If you don't, you're going to click on log in register, and that'll bring you to this page. So if you're a new user, you're going to click on register here. You're going to create your username and password. You're going to enter your name, your email, your address. If you're already registered, you just log in. After logging into your account or creating a new account, you'll then be prompted to submit an appeal. You can also check on the status of prior appeals in the My Appeals section. After you create your account, you can always look at your appeals. They're going to be saved in there from prior years or a current appeal. You can see what's going on. Right now, we want you to click on Submit Appeal. Select the type of appeal that you want. First arrow, it says property overassessed. That's the only option that you actually have. The next arrow shows your PIN number. That's your property tax identification number. Now that's the tax ID number that you find on your tax bill. So that's what you enter there. Are you a Board of Review attorney? You're going to check no. Then you're going to click I'm not a robot. So this is going to ask if you have any other PIN numbers. Now what that means is, do you have 2 PIN numbers for your property? Do you have a house that's on 2 lots? You'll know if you have 2 PIN numbers. Most people don't. Now, appellant information, this is you. So you're going to insert your name, address, city, state, zip code, your phone number, email, and then click done. That process that I just took you through is how the Board of Review knows what township you're in. All of that information is very important to enter into the system. We included a slide here for paper filing because I know that there's people that obviously still paper file. You can get the forms from our website, print it, fill it out, mail it to the Board of Review, or it's available at your assessor's office. This is what the paper filing looks like. Appellant, again, that's you. You fill out the top information, name, address, phone number, email, location of your real estate. You might not live at the property you're appealing. Make sure you sign. And on the right side, do not list your comparables. People do that all the time. This is only if you have a second tax ID number. Triennial reassessments. So that's what we do in Cook County. The assessor places a value on close to 1.9 million parcels. Reassessment of property in Cook County is done in a triennial cycle, which means it occurs every 3 years. The Cook County Assessor's Office alternates the triennials between the north side, the south side, and the city of Chicago. The office utilizes a mass appraisal process for assessments. What that means is because there's 1.9 million parcels, they don't look at each individual property because that would be impossible. But we at the Board of Review, we can focus on individual parcels of property when you file an appeal with us, so we can give it the individual attention that it needs. Filing an appeal with the assessor's office in addition to filing with the Board of Review. People always ask this question, should I file at the assessor? Should I file at the Board of Review? Well, the answer is you can file at both. Filing the triennial of your home, you can first file an appeal with the assessor's office prior to filing an appeal with the Board of Review. Steps to file an appeal online with the assessor's office can be found at cookcountyassessor.com, which is the assessor's website. And you can file an appeal with the Board of Review following the decision of your appeal with the assessor. But again, you do not have to appeal with the assessor. You can appeal with us. All right, so I'm going to give you an example using Rogers Park. And the reason I'm using that is because it was just released. If you live in Rogers Park, your property values were recently reassessed by the assessor. You now have 30 days following the release of the new assessed value to file your appeal at the assessor. You have to wait for the assessor to process your appeal, certify and publish the results, which can take 3 to 6 months. And then following this period, the Board of Review will then open our 30-day window for your township. You can file your appeal, and then we will render our decision within 2 to 4 months. So ultimately, it can take 5 to 10 months for you to file an appeal with both the assessor and the Board of Review. So this is what the reassessment years look like, our triennials. So the city of Chicago is this year, 2021, 24, and 27, like I said, every 3 years. My district is District 1, so that includes the areas of Hyde Park, Jefferson, Lake. These are all the townships included in the reassessment this year. The north side is 2022 and then 2025. And so these are all the suburbs that will be reassessed next year. And then the south suburbs, 2023, 2026. All right, potential benefits of appealing. Well, to reduce your assessment. This can give you a multi-year savings. Like I said, the triennial. So if you appeal the first year of the triennial, your reduction is granted. The assessed value then is locked in almost all the cases until the next reassessment. There's no filing fee, and the Board of Review will not increase your assessment. So I'll leave you with this. When your township opens for filing an appeal, you have 30 days to submit your complaint, unless you pre-file. That's why I talked about pre-filing so much. The appeal process takes 8 to 16 weeks to receive your result. If you're registered, you're going to get email notification that your decision is viewable in your account. You'll be able to go into your account and look at what the decision was. Any reductions will be reflected on the second tax bill that you receive. So that's the second installment property tax bill. The Board of Review will not increase your assessment. It will either remain the same or it will decrease. This is our contact page. We have several different avenues to contact us. We have email, phone, Facebook, Twitter. We have our own website, tammywendt.com. And then you can also see these videos. So we have a YouTube page. I just want to remind all of you that this seminar is only a portion of what our in-person outreach seminars will consist of. Now, COVID has halted, in-person seminars. Now, since things are opening up, we can assure you we will be coming to your community. Please remember that we are providing today's seminar as an extra opportunity to help you understand the appeal process so that when it comes time to appeal later in the year, you can better understand. Also, we will be posting this video to our social media, like I said, YouTube, and our website, so you can refer back to it when you're registering and filing your appeal. So I'll now turn this over to my first assistant, Todd Thielman.
Thank you, Commissioner. Great presentation. Thank you for everybody in attendance, Board of Review analysts, constituents, electeds. Really appreciate your time tonight. The questions are starting to come in. I'll get to those right in a minute here. All of your townships have been mailed by the assessor. Cicero is still open. In fact, I think it was mailed on June 8th, and it's going to be open until July 9th. So those of you in Cicero Township, I know Emo's here, the assessor. If you have any questions, you can reach out to his office. If you need help, you can reach out to our office. All right, I'm going to get right to the questions here. LC Vogel, I was told you should not appeal every year. That is not true. You should appeal anytime you feel your property is overvalued. Now, if you appeal to the assessor and the assessor does give you a reduction and you think that that's a fair valuation, you do not have to appeal at the Board of Review. Inversely, if you do not appeal at the assessor and you think your property is overvalued, by all means, you can still appeal at the Board of Review. There is no fee. And actually, once you register, it's a very easy process. So go ahead. I would encourage everyone to appeal every year. This is from Susan and Nell. If properties were reassessed every 3 years, why should I appeal every year? Things change. There is dynamics in real estate that change. The assessor is only going to look at their property every 3 years unless there's a permit pulled, there's a sale, there is some kind of casualty that happened, fire, flood, act of God. So even though the assessor only reassesses every 3 years, you could still appeal every year. It's your option. You don't have to. Many of your neighbors probably are. And if neighbors are winning their appeals, you may not be uniform with your neighborhood. So I would go ahead and appeal every year. I do it personally. I've done it before I became a board of review employee. I appealed every single year. This comes in from Lily. Are the dates to file an appeal the same as the assessors and the county board? No, it changes every year. The order of the townships that the assessor releases, that the board of review opens, changes every year. And that's part of the confusion. And that's what the advantage of registration really brings to you, is the ability to kind of forget about the noise, and we will inform you when your townships open. I'm not sure if the assessor has a registration process like we do, but I encourage you to register at the board of review. Tony, if the board of review is lower, does it go back to 2020 assessment and change it? We won't go back to 2020, but if 2020, that session has already been finalized and certified. So right now, I'm not sure what township you're open, but once the assessor gives us jurisdiction over these townships, you can go ahead and appeal with us, and we may be able to change it for 2021. There was a COVID reduction given for 2020 by the assessor. Those seem to be carrying over, so that's good for you. Assessed value, a lower assessed value doesn't necessarily equate to a lower tax bill. But it's better to be fairly assessed, and the taxing bodies are what's really responsible for driving your tax bill. Let's see. I live in Cicero, so my next assessment will be 2023. Do I wait until July? Rigoberto, I probably would not wait. And right now, you can't pre-file. You can only register. The pre-file is not open. But what the commissioner is trying to drive the point home is that registration really enables you to get communication from the board of review. There is no spam. We do not call you. We do not send you solicitation emails. It's just going to be for informative purposes for you. So registration is strongly suggested. It's just a great way to stay on top of your tax bill. Will pre-filing also be available next year? I don't know for sure. We have not talked about that. I mean, it's something that is working. I hope it doesn't change. It's to the advantage of the taxpayers, of you guys. So I'd like to see it remain part of our program, possibly even expand and be open a little longer, a little earlier, or automatic pre-file. If you could choose, that would be a great option. So you don't have to pre-file every year. Where can I find how much my property is valued at in a yearly basis? You can go to the assessor's website and you can look up your previous valuations. I think it go back 1 year. If you want to go farther than that, you can go to the treasurer's website. And when we post this on YouTube, we'll actually add a link to the treasurer. So you can go back, and the treasurer has some pretty robust data going back, I think, 20 years on most properties. So how do you do a certificate of error? Building size is incorrect. Cy, great question. So certificate of errors are something you apply for at the assessor. That's a common reason for certificate of errors is building square footage is incorrect, classification being incorrect, or some kind of fire or flood vacancy reason. You can go back, and the assessor could actually correct 3 years of errors that you're entitled to. The information on your property, square footage or classification, are the two major ones are incorrect. You can actually apply for a certificate of error. Now, a lot of people will say, it says I have 2 bathrooms, I only have 1.5 bathroom. That's really not going to qualify for a certificate of error. That's a small characteristic issue. The assessor is trying to correct some of these building characteristic issues, but that has a very small part of the assessed valuation. Is pre-file always July 6th? No, Roberto, it changes. Last year, it just happened to be July 6th as well. I can't say anything beyond last year. I do not know the pre-file date when it happened in 2019. So we did want to keep it consistent. And I know the website says July 6, 2020. It still needs to be updated. There's some information on our website that's stale that we're working to fix. I filed and received an appeal docket number from the Cook County Assessor, May 6, 2021. Does that refer to 2021 taxes due 2022? Yes. So that was what was just mailed out, right? I believe that's what you're referring to. So that's going to be, 21. Yeah, they'll be on your second tax bill of next year, basically. So the appeal process is a long process, as the commissioner said, from the mailing dates from the assessor, 3 to 6 months. And then once we get custody of it, it's another 2 to 4 months. So it's quite a long process. One of the common questions that comes up is comparables. When you pre-file, when the pre-file opens, you're able to pre-file. You do not have to provide any comparables at that time. You can provide comparables when the township opens if you want. But if you're appealing your property taxes based on uniformity, that means that you believe your house per square foot is assessed at a higher level than your neighbors that have the like houses. And what a comparable or a like house would be is something that's very close to you, nearly the same square footage, is the same class of home. So those would be good comparables. And I like to use the example of, if you live on a block and there's 5 houses on your block that are like yours, those would be good comparables. So those are the ones that we compare your house against as far as assessed value per square footage. If your house is unique and there's no house on your block like yours, you're going to have to cast a wider net. So you go out to maybe 1/8 of a mile, maybe 1/4 of a mile, and try to find houses that are like yours, same class, nearly the same square footage, nearly the same age, and as close as possible. And those are good comps. So if you can't find those comps, though, the Board of Review will find comps. We have a robust comp system. So if you do not include any comps, we're going to assume that your complaint is filed in uniformity, and we will work it on uniformity. So you folks that filed a appeal at the assessor should have some kind of response September, October, we hope. And then we'll get custody of it probably 30 days later in that. And then you can always appeal at the Board of Review if you're not satisfied with the assessor. Now, remember, when you appeal at the assessor, you're basically appealing their numbers. So they came up with that assessed value through their methodology. They may not be as generous going against their methodology and giving you a reduction, although it does happen. But if you're unsatisfied with that, that's when you come to the Board of Review. There is no pre-requirement to go to the assessor first before you come to the Board of Review. There's a third process, which is the Property Tax Appeal Board, which does require you to appeal to the Board of Review first. So you can't bypass the assessor, then bypass the Board of Review and think you can just go to the Property Tax Appeal Board. You need to file at the Board of Review to keep open your availability to file at PTAB, it's called. Any of the assessors have any questions or any content, or Assessor Emo, Fran?
Hi, this is Fran.
Hi, Fran.
Hi, thank you so much for doing this today. If someone wants to use an appraisal to support a market value, what should they do?
Okay, that's a great question. So, we don't see as many appraisals for residential properties as you would think. But if somebody has an appraisal and it's fresh, meaning it can't be more than 3 years old, and it really has to be for ad valorem purposes, for property tax valuation purposes. It can't, like an appraisal for a bank financing, they do not hold as much weight, because we know that banks, they may not appraise things properly, meaning that they're not going to automatically give people a lot of equity in their home. So appraisals for mortgage purposes, for financing, they don't hold as much water as an appraisal for tax purposes. So professional appraisers know the difference in when they're doing them, and they'll put they have to put the reason for the appraisal in the appraisal. So that's the difference on those. And if somebody has an appraisal, I encourage them to send it, and a homeowner could appeal their assessed value on all reasons. You can send an appraisal in, you can ask for uniformity, you can ask for sales comps. We'll look at everything. At the very least, we'll look at uniformity. But if the more evidence presented that states your case, we will take it all into consideration. I hope that answered your question, Fran. Well, I guess I'll leave it at this. Appealing your taxes at the Board of Review is your right. It's statutorily your right. It's your constitutional right. Nobody likes paying taxes, but we all understand that taxes are required to operate our municipalities, our county services, our fire departments, our police departments. So I understand that, you know, we all have to pay our taxes, but none of us want to pay more than we're supposed to, based on the value of the home that we live in or the property that we own. Appeal yearly. Registration makes it really easy. We're here to answer any questions. Our team is really helpful. Your local assessors are really helpful. They're really great resources. We work really closely with them. And when we come out and start doing in-person road shows in person, we will work with your assessors and your local elected officials to get the word out. So watch our social media. We will be in your neighborhood soon. The second tax bills are probably going to come out August 1st, I believe, is kind of what we're looking for. And there's probably going to be a lot of questions after the tax bills come out, and then the assessor starts releasing their final numbers, and then we get the townships open for appeal. So that's when it's going to get fast and furious with the Board of Review, and we're here to help you. We work for you. Appreciate everybody's time. All right, take care, everybody. Good night.